wants to start. It wants it. There's just...
It used to be cool.
You are cool. Yeah, you did some pretty cool things before, and no one's gonna steal that from you, but that doesn't mean you're finished. And no one's gonna steal that from you. And no one's gonna steal that from you. And no one's gonna steal that from you.
Wait. A little bit of news today. Somebody stole my battery. In case that was a little confusing, someone siphoned my gas from the tank while the Bronco was resting in the auto shop. I had a diagnostic session previous to filming. Shout out to Ben for helping me on such short notice. We ran over all the fuel pumps. We could hear both the pump in the tank and the pump underneath the driver's seat. So we disconnected at the driver's seat because it's the easiest one to get access to without dropping the tank. And there wasn't any gas coming out at the accessory key position when fuel pumps prime. I sat on it a little while because I still wasn't quite sure and because I wasn't making YouTube money, but then my Batmobile video went viral and I got monetized, so this is the first car video that is sustained from the channel.
It ain't got no gas in it.
After checking with my own siphon to see if there was any gas left in the tank and finding nothing there, I decided to throw a new fuel filter in. Can't quite stand up. Since that's one of the first things Zach Job's Money Pit series taught us all to do in the early stages of getting a project running. This is about the point in the video when I phase out from narrating and just do music. I still don't quite know how to make those transitions more seamless. New fuel filter in, this is when Josh realizes he was supposed to use the new clips that came in the box. So he's going to take care of that real fast. Time for some new gas, well, $20 worth. Screwdriver was in there to keep the filler open, but now time to try it out. to running, and not a moment too soon. This video was taken 2 weeks before school let out for the summer, and the parking lot was about to be undergoing renovations, meaning I couldn't meaningfully work on the Bronco at the school. I needed to get it running and get it somewhere else, so the next day I tried moving it. But it's so hard to get it going anywhere. I need to rev the engine to get it to engage its gear. It sounds horrible. This is probably going to be an episode fraught with some of that obvious car person knowledge that I just don't have. You've stuck with me this far. Bear with me just a little bit longer. Anyway, I got it to move, which was hella exciting if I'm being real. Despite the transmission hesitancy, I got it to move off its own power. So with my wife around as a safety, I started making the 4-mile journey home. It was hot, and I had some good hope, but after a set of train tracks, it died on me. We called my father-in-law, and he hooked me up and drove us to a place in the neighborhood that I could park it for a bit while working on it. I didn't know what was wrong. I had gas, I had just gone through an oil change, but then I remembered that movement comes from engaging the transmission. Checking the fluid level should have been in the neighborhood of preparatory things I should have done before a test drive. Sure enough, it was low. Even when removing the transmission pan, there was comparatively little to remove of the 12-quart capacity this transmission has. For removal, I had a 10mm socket on 4-inch extension for the front 10 bolts and a U-joint for the back 4 since there's a chassis brace in the way. I have the AOD transmission, so you might have different geometry on yours. The process is still the same. Remove the bolts, loosening so that the fluid drips around the front of the transmission pan before removing completely. I'll let some video play, Sam's narration for a little bit, I guess quite a bit here. That's brake cleaner, and I'm just trying to break up that buildup at the bottom before scraping off the cork gasket and finishing cleanup.
Do you want to show the people where this goes? Yep. Perfect. We just gotta take the old one out.
It's recommended you replace the transmission filter anytime you drop the pan and replace fluid, so that's what I'm up to here.
I definitely torqued those off camera. It's 100 inch-pounds at the max end, so that's about 8 pound-feet of torque. Weird doing it this way, but cork gasket is all gone. So this is the gasket. I'm gonna go inside around these guys with our TV.
I've never spread our TV gasket maker before. It's recommended in the Haynes manual, but I should have remembered that the gasket was oriented a specific way because the holes aren't symmetrical down the middle. So here's another flub. Make sure you leave a hateful comment about my inexperience.
Well, I'll either see you in the comments or underneath the truck. We're gonna let that dry, cure, whatever. We'll come back and we will load up some transmission fluid. We'll try it out.
At this point, I had put about 10 quarts in. What you should be doing is checking every gallon or so, or every 4 quarts. You don't release all of the transmission fluid when you drop the pan. I didn't know that, so I was just going for adding 12 quarts since that's the capacity. So it started leaking at the fill location and a venting tube.
Still nothing at the pan. No leaks there. That's good. I'm gonna charge the battery and get it to operating temp and try it out. When I started it, it was pretty violent, pretty aggressive, and then it mellowed out. I can hear a shift into reverse. It's a very obvious clunk into reverse, but going forward into drive, not sure if there's any difference. We're gonna keep letting it warm up and do its thing. Check the transmission fluid level, and then we'll do the test drive. we're still at sort of the same impasse. I can move it a little bit easier now than when I left from school. I feel a little bit more secure in what it can do, but it's just not wanting to go forward. I don't know how to remedy that, but I'm trying really hard to sell it. And the story is not even that big of a story. It's just that the school was undergoing renovations and I couldn't leave the Bronco there, and I don't have anywhere to set it down here. So, you know, we might not have another video. I got it moving. I was able to maneuver it around, and that feels good to me. I got it running. I put it back together. Like, I feel pretty bummed about this. Thanks for sticking around. This is kind of like a weird navigation of a rebuild series, but this is how it goes when you start out as a non-car guy and you sort of become a car person, even though you can't figure out stuff like this. I'm hoping that I'll have some comments and there'll be some nice things that I could try out, but yeah, we'll see where this goes next. Thanks for watching, and I don't know if there will be a next one, but I'll see you all in hopefully my next video anyway.